Hi Dolly friends, it's time for another story about dolls. The Hand-Me-Down Doll by Stephen Kroll, illustrated by Dan Anderson. She's pretty. Kind of looks like an American Girl doll. There was once a spoiled little girl named Glenda. The more she had, the more she wanted. The more she asked for, the more she got. Whoa. On Glenda's 6th birthday, her parents bought her a beautiful doll with long dark curls and a velvet coat. But Glenda already had plenty of dolls. She put the new one on a shelf and forgot about her. When her mother asked what she would name her new doll, Glenda said, "Oh, nothing." For a long time, the doll sat on the shelf. No one held her or brushed her hair. She got very lonely, and she wanted a name. One day, Glenda's mother discovered the doll covered in dust. "Don't you want to play with her?" she asked. "You can give her away if you want," said Glenda. "I don't care." That afternoon, Farmer John stopped by to deliver eggs. Glenda's mother asked if he'd like to take the doll. "My wife and I don't have children," Farmer John said, but he took the doll anyway and drove her home in his wagon. Farmer John and his wife didn't have much time for a doll. John was busy farming. His wife Sal was busy cooking and gardening. The doll sat looking out the window. She became even lonelier than before, and she still didn't have a name. In the fall, John and Sal took the doll to the county fair to decorate their vegetable stand. The doll liked that. People noticed her, and one customer said, "What a beautiful doll she is." Later that day, a big gruff woman came along and shoved $5 in John's hand. "I'll take that pretty thing," she said. She carried the doll away and set her down beside some stuffed dogs and tigers in her ring toss booth. "Step right up! A ring over any bottle and you win this beautiful doll." The doll shuddered. She wanted to be loved, not gambled away. Hours passed. A man in a uniform began tossing the rings. With one ring left, he threw and he won. "I'll take the doll," he said. "I'll give it to my niece." He walked to a shiny limousine, but he didn't step inside. He held the door open for an elegant couple. Then he put the doll on the front seat and drove away. The doll wondered if she was going to a new home. The chauffeur dropped off the man and woman and stopped at a nearby cafe. He greeted the manager with a shout and slapped another gentleman on the back. The doll thought he might show her off to the people, but he didn't. He put her in a corner and he left her there. At closing time, Harry the waiter discovered her. "Hey, Nell," he said to the cook, "have you seen this?" "Keep me," the doll said to herself. "Keep me and love me and give me a name." "Better leave her outside. Someone might come along and want her," said Nell. Outside, a small dirty-faced boy walked by. He picked up the doll and carried her off. After a while, they came to a neighborhood with dark, battered-looking houses. The boy set the doll down on the sidewalk. "Don't leave me," thought the doll. "It's so dirty here." A little girl came around the corner. "Want to buy a doll?" The boy hissed. "Cheap." The doll's heart sank, but when she looked up, she saw a smiling, friendly face. The little girl searched in her pockets. "Here's a nickel. It's all the money I have." The boy snatched the coin and ran off. The little girl carried the doll home to her parents' tiny apartment. They sat together on the worn-out couch. "I don't have very much," the little girl said. But having you is everything. My name is Haley, and your name is Kaylee. Kaylee closed her eyes and smiled. At last she was loved, and at last she had a name. The end. It always seems that dolls are left and no one comes back for them, or they're on a shelf and they're lonely, or they just want a name. And it always seems that most of the books are like that. But I hope you liked The Hand-Me-Down Doll by Stephen Kroll. And I'll talk to you later.